Welcome back to the show, folks. This is the wrap-up, your daily dose of pop culture and movie news by me, Mr. H Reviews. On today's show, we'll be looking at Arnold Schwarzenegger and Terminator Dark Fate coming along to San Diego Comic-Con Hall H. This is an exclusive with The Hollywood Reporter. The Hollywood Reporter also has an exclusive update with respect to the Flash movie, so we'll touch on that. We also have some very brief Star Wars news, which we'll kind of glaze over, and then we will end with Neil Gaiman's The Sandman news, because that seems to be a daily update now. If you didn't know, you haven't seen the other updates that I've done, Neil Gaiman is bringing The Sandman to Netflix for a series, and he has now revealed the episode count for season 1. If you want to skip ahead to any of the topics that I have just mentioned, there'll be some timestamps down below in the description box. But let's get right into it, okay? Terminator Dark Fate, a movie which is... some people seem to be looking forward to it, some people don't. But it's turning up to Hall H, San Diego Comic-Con. Now, like I said, this is an exclusive to The Hollywood Reporter. They state that stars Linda Hamilton, Natalia Reyes, Mackenzie Davis, Gabriel Luna, and Diego Boneta, as well as director Tim Miller, are also expected to hit the stage. So that's along with Arnold Schwarzenegger. So basically everyone. Essentially. Basically everyone. Now, interesting to see that James Cameron won't be here, but he might turn up. You never know. But he is, typically speaking, busy with Avatar for the rest of his life, because that seems to be something which he's just never-ending doing. Now, obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger will be back at San Diego Comic-Con. The actor will make the trek for Paramount and Skydance's Terminator Dark Fate panel, which will be held July 18th in the Cavernous Hall H. That's the biggest expo room over at San Diego Comic-Con. Now, in terms of the presentation and things like that, for those that are in attendance at San Diego Comic-Con, it will start at 11 a.m. and the presentation will kick off basically all of the Hall H proceedings. So it's pretty cool that they're essentially headlining Hall H. But it's not that much of a surprise because there's no comic book movies really around. No comic book studios are really in attendance. So Terminator, yeah, it makes sense. It absolutely makes sense. Now, the panel won't be light on firepower because obviously Schwarzenegger, Linda Hamilton, Natalia Reyes, basically everyone is going to be there. Now it says with Hamilton joining Schwarzenegger on stage, the panel will see the two original Terminator actors usher in a new and rising generation of Hollywood talent. Now this is essentially just echoing the fact that this movie is passing the torch to all of these actors. That's what we know. We know it is absolutely passing the torch. I doubt Schwarzenegger and Hamilton will be in the next one. Hamilton maybe, but we've heard numerous times now that this is a passing of the torch movie, so this just absolutely echoes that. Now it says the presentation is expected to reveal new footage from this sci-fi action movie that opens November 1st. I think the main take home from this would be if they've adjusted some of the wonky CG. You know, the rubberized Terminator flying through the air was not very good in that trailer. Obviously it's early days on the effects at that point in time, but we'll see whether they've adjusted any of it. Now, Schwarzenegger was previously at SDCC in 2013 for the muscle-powered presentation of The Expendables, and he last year went deeper into the convention circuit by appearing at Alamo City Comic-Con. So he's getting stuck in. That's it for this particular update. What do you think? Are you in attendance at San Diego Comic-Con? It's the biggest Comic-Con there is. I was trying to get around to it this year. I won't be in attendance, but next year maybe. So let me know your thoughts down below on this. Are you looking forward to Dark Fate? A lot of people are not, but I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please do let me know down below. And let's move on to Flash Shocker. It director Andy Muschietti is in talks to direct The Flash, basically. It's interesting. Now, Christina Hodson, who wrote Bumblebee and Birds of Prey, so we don't know what Birds of Prey is like yet, but Bumblebee was fairly well received, is now being eyed to write the script. Now, Ezra Miller is still attached to appear, but there were some discussions about this recently because his contract is actually up with Warner Bros. And DC, so it's interesting to see that he's still apparently attached, but I think this is just running off of old news, and it's not actually updated at this point in time unless he's renewed his contract, but it is up at this point in time. However, what else is Ezra Miller doing? Nothing really, so I can't see him wanting to give up the potential of a superhero franchise anytime soon. Now, obviously, Andy Muschietti is the filmmaker behind It, and obviously It Chapter 2. Now, he's in talks. Along with his partner and sister, Barbara Muschietti, will also produce, along with Michael Disco on the project. So he's bringing essentially all of his team involved to come and do this project. Now, obviously, the interesting part is, of course, the writer. Now, it says, instead, Warner Bros. Will hire Christina Hodson, being eyed, not currently hired yet, the scribe behind Bumblebee and the studio's upcoming DC movie, the Margot Robbie-fronted Birds of Prey. Now, this is the most important part. Obviously, they're really happy with how Birds of Prey is turning out. Very clearly, very, very happy. Either that or Christina Hodson is not taking an awful lot of money for screenplays, which sometimes can be in the millions. So, this is interesting news, but it also screams to me that Warner Bros. Is very happy with her take on Birds of Prey. Now, like it says, deal making has not yet begun. Stress insiders. The official offers are expected to go out shortly. I think this might be a go, but I just think it's interesting that, you know, Ezra Miller is still in talks because his contract is up. But whatever. What do you think? I like Muschietti. It'll be interesting to see his take on this kind of movie. You could probably say was a little bit paint by numbers. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying you could argue that it was a bit paint by numbers. His feature debut, Mama, was very, very good. I really liked that movie. So it'd be interesting to see how he goes from Mama, you know, It, which has some aesthetics from Mama in it. In fact, the wonky-faced woman basically looks the same as Mama, to a superhero movie. I think he would bring a very specific flavour to the superhero genre, and I think he would be very, very good. But I'd love to hear your thoughts. What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. Good news, bad news, let me know. Now let's move on. We have 2 bits of news with respect to Star Wars. Nothing too crazy about this. Daisy Ridley has echoed once more that J.J. Abrams did say the question is answered about her parents. So at the end of the movie, you will know what the dealio is. Down with the kids there, Daisy Ridley. So yeah, there we go. We will know absolutely without a shadow of a doubt who Rey's parents are by the end of J.J. Abrams' latest Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. What do you think? Do you even care at this point? I don't think half the people do. Especially when it was just sidelined in Rian Johnson's The Last Jedi as there were no one, there were nothing and no one. Who cares? Whatever. Bah. Yeah, what do you think? Let me know down below. Now, the other bit of news was very, very brief. It was just teasing the lightsaber fight. So this is on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast. We have a great fight. And I was really happy with the Vanity Fair pictures. Did show a bit of it. It's a great fight. Like, I've become such a better fighter, and they made the lightsabers lighter, so it actually looks like we're swinging light and not like heavy swords. That's kind of interesting. A few things to dissect here. So this is about Kylo Ren and Rey's fight, lightsaber duel. A few things to note. The fact that they've made the lightsabers lighter, so it appears like they're swinging lighter weapons rather than heavy swords, to me screams more the prequels rather than the trilogy. I don't think that's good news. I liked the fact that they were kind of, you know, they weren't super lightweight looking weapons in the original trilogy. You know, they had a bit of weight behind them. So for them to kind of go to the prequel sort of aesthetic with these lightsaber duels, I think it's bad news, but that's just my opinion. I might not be that. It might not be that at all, but that's what it says to me anyway. So what do you think? Again, I have to stress this. Do you even care at this point in time about The Rise of Skywalker and Star Wars in general? Let me know down below in the comments. And to round this wrap-up show out, we've got Netflix's Sandman Season 1. Episode count was revealed by Neil Gaiman over on Twitter. Okay, so I may be looking at Screen Rant, but it's just because they screenshotted the Twitter. So that's why. Morpheus, tweeted out to everyone and said, please don't make it only 10 episodes. That doesn't mean you should do more than one season right away. but leave space for more. Doesn't really matter. Good Omens was greatly adapted, so I know this will be too. Keanu Reeves playing Dream, please. Yeah, that's what everyone seems to want. He says the first season will be 11 episodes. That's the start of it all. Preludes and nocturnes and a little bit more. And then he goes on to also say, because someone else tweeted, news of Sandman show left me excited and scared. I want more people to enjoy Sandman, but I fear losing my interpretation of it to the vision of the show creators. I never minded adaptations before, but Sandman always felt personal, feeling silly about it. Any advice? I'm hoping we can make something on television that feels as personal and true as the best of the Sandman comics did, just set 30 years later than the Sandman comic. So it actually sounds like it is set 30 years after Sandman comic, which is an interesting take. 11 episodes seems, between 10 to 14 episodes is kind of Netflix's standard deal. So it doesn't come as much of a surprise. I do think this is interesting. Interesting that the first season, covers preludes and nocturnes, and obviously a bit beyond that, which does imply absolutely that Sandman will be continuing. So what do you think? Let me know down below in the comments. That wraps it up here for me. I've got nothing else to talk about. If you did enjoy this daily show, the daily dose of pop culture and movie news to wrap up, please do hit subscribe, give this video a like and a share. Also, just as a side note, just real quick at the end, just tack this shit on. I tweeted out, I did a community poll yesterday on YouTube, just saying, because this whole show is a trial. It's not something which was ever going to stay here, not permanently. It was never decided. Now, I like doing this show because it's a little bit more of a personal interaction, but there's inevitably people don't watch it all, people don't tune in, and actually a lot of people seem to like the singular news pieces a lot more. Now, off the back end of that, what I was trying to do, which I have done a few times, was make this daily show and then split the segments up into highlight videos. So you'd get the one long video, one long kind of podcast thing, and then you would get the individual news pieces. So I was trying to do the best of both worlds, but a lot of people don't seem to be enjoying that. It seems to irritate people somehow. Some people do, obviously. Don't get me wrong, some people do. But a lot of people don't like that either because they think I'm just merely repeating work and kind of doubling up on myself. They don't seem to understand the reason behind it, which is fine. So what I am probably going to do, because a lot of people have said, why aren't I doing explained videos? I have actually for the last 3 weeks, and I've started to stockpile them again. I've got a few just sat there waiting to drop. Terminator ones of all things as well. So Terminator will be coming back. I am doing more explained videos. I took a hiatus just because I stopped enjoying doing them. But I'm back now. I do enjoy doing them, hence why I've been doing them for the last 3 weeks. But I think, again, a lot of people seem to be missing these. If there's a few things to note here, explained videos are coming back. If you're missing them, follow me on Twitter at Missed Reviews, because every explained video I do or movie review I do, I will share over on Twitter, and you can get notified of it then, because YouTube's notification system doesn't work. These daily news pieces I won't be sharing on Twitter, so you won't be bombarded by that. I will probably keep the daily show going in some form or another, whether it's maybe just one face-to-face video about one particular piece of news, and then I think I will probably do individual news pieces moving forwards. It was a good test. I enjoyed it whilst it lasted, but it doesn't seem to be a success, so I'm probably going to scrap this show. That's just me being real with you. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. Peace out. Take care. If I can get my bloody mouse over. Peace.